EVE Online Capsuleers, are you looking for the perfect ship? Do you want a ship that can do lots of damage? A ship that can do lots of remote repair and keep everybody else alive? A ship, when used together with many other of the same kind, is virtually unkillable? Welcome to the carrier. I'm going to showcase the 4 races of carriers. The one you're looking at right now is a Galenta carrier. And we're actually looking at the fighter bay, the front side of the carrier. This Thanatos, the Galenta carrier, is an impressive ship, much larger than even a battleship. Let's begin the presentation. The EVE Online Carrier Showroom, choosing the right ship for you. The Archon, Armor King. This ship has special bonuses to the remote repair. It can put out 1,500 remote repairs per second, equivalent to approximately 3.7 Guardians. The cruiser level logistics armor repair or armor remote repair ship. Stats are all right here in their configurations. If you notice that note on the bottom about triage, just remember you need an experienced pilot to help you even understand the triage, but definitely train to be able to use triage 2, or triage tech 2. The shield equivalent, with bonuses to shield resist, makes an incredible shield tank, equivalent to 3.7 basilisks. The shield logistics cruiser remote repair ship. Similar performance. The Thanatos. This ship not only can do lots of remote repair, but it also has damage bonuses to fighters. Also, it can field the other drones as well, but the damage bonuses to fighters are exclusive to fighters only. So 25% bonus to the damage on fighters. Still, it's very useful if you want to rad. If you want to use it against other player ships, the damage can be applied down to cruiser level if the ship is going slow enough for the fighters to hit it. So keep that in mind. In PvP, player ships are pushed to the limits and are oftentimes not going slow enough. It's the equivalent of, again, 3.7 basilisks, but the Thanatos can also remote armor repair. Now, the other 2 ships can remote armor or remote shield repair. The difference is the Archon only gets a bonus to remote armor repair range, so up to 54 kilometers on the remote armor repair only. The Chimera, 54 kilometers to the shield remote repair only. The Thanatos, on the other hand, can do either. Remote armor or shield has the bonuses to the range. So, quite a versatile ship. It fits into both armor and shield gangs. Now, all these carriers can refit on each other. They use their shield maintenance bays, and so the Thanatos can switch out its remote shield reps with remote armor reps at any time it needs to. So, refitting your ships, refitting the resist is especially powerful. You can also carry subcapital ships in your ship maintenance hangar. So keep that in mind. Ships that carry other ships. These carriers are amazing. Each of these ships also has 10,000 cubic meters in their corporate hangar arrays, which can be made available, both the corporate hangar arrays and the ship maintenance bays and the ship maintenance refitting, to fleet members if you select it, if you enable it. The Nidhoggur. Alright, if you want a remote armor repair and or remote shield repair, the Nidhoggur is where it's at. Specializing in the carrier's primary responsibility in remote repair, Nidhoggur has very strong bonuses to the remote repair amount, 37.5% bonus at Carrier 5. Allows it to put out 2,063 remote repairs per second. In this configuration with 5 capital remote repairs, it's equivalent to approximately 5.1 basilisks. That's right, 5.1 Basilisk. This is the king of remote repair, and it can do shield or armor. It also does not have any bonuses to shield or armor resist, so its tank is about as strong as a Thanatos. Nidhoggur also uses fighters, as do all carriers, and the triage makes the remote repair especially strong. But keep in mind, never use the triage unless you're with an experienced FC. That is, an FC that's experienced in capital in carrier ships. Alright, so what can these ships do? They can remote repair structures, in addition to remote repairing ships. Here's a player-owned Starbase, or POS, sometimes called Starbases. Shields range between 8.75 and 15 million hit points. When a Starbase is attacked, and when I say Starbase, that's opposed to Outposts, which are coming next. A Starbase shields will go down to 25% before entering reinforced. At 50%, the player will not be able to add any more stront. So whatever strontium is in here determines the length of the reinforcement. And once it comes out of reinforcements, ironically enough, it doesn't exit at 25%, but instead at 0% shields. The shields must then be repaired up to 50%. This gives a little bit of an incentive for repairing the shields before it goes into reinforced. If you remote repair it before it goes into reinforced, you only have to remote repair 1.2 million HP. Let me change this real quick, because 50% is 2.4 million. 25% of the shields is about 1.2 million. And of course 100 minutes. So if you have a single Nidhoggur, you'll have to repair that POS for 100 minutes in the configuration we talked about. That's a long time for the Nidhoggur to be sitting out there repairing a POS. It's even more time, of course, for the other carriers. So obviously 50 minutes is much preferable. You can half the amount of time needed, and of course half the amount of expense needed to repair the shields. If it's caught just before 25%, you can bring it up only 25%. Alright, so there's a POS and remote repairing it. Here's an Outpost. 100 million HP. Alright. Now, before I actually pull that up, let me change something real quick, because I didn't adjust the numbers for this. Okay, here we go. Small correction for Outpost. 100 million hit points and shields. Obviously, if you have to repair all of the shields, it would be 13.46, or approximately 13.5 hours for a single Nid to remote repair all the shields. Obviously, that's a lot of time. If you want to remote repair the shields of an Outpost, you'll want a very large number of carriers. Now, if you happen to have a group of carriers that are willing to work for free, and you can get enough of them, you might be able to repair these shields in a decent amount of time. But keep in mind that remote repair for 13.46 hours is an incredibly large amount of time to secure a system. Usually, if you can remote repair within 5 to 15 minutes, that's ideal. But how are you going to do that with just a few carriers? Obviously, you're going to need quite a few. You'll probably turn to a group, a carrier group, which happens to have the numbers to be able to support that kind of operation. Alright, this takes us to the end of our EVE Online carrier showroom. Let me just go over the ships real quick. If you like remote repair, or you want to do things that have to do with remote repair, the Nidhoggur is your ship. If you want a versatile ship that allows you to rat, or that is to make ISK by killing NPCs, getting between 800,000 and 1.2 million on average ISK per bounty, Thanatos is probably your dream ship. If you're interested in motherships, you're probably interested in the Nyx, and you want to train for the Thanatos, get the Galantic carrier up to 5. the Nyx goes right through the Thanatos. If you love shield tanking, and all you want to do is shield tank, you don't want any drone DPS, but you do want to have a pretty hefty tank, so that if people hit you, you'll be able to survive a little bit more. It'll be that a little bit easier for people to keep you alive. The Chimera is the way to go for the shield, and the Archon is the best way to go for the armor. The principal difference between the shield and the Archon are the implants, the armor HP implants. So between the two, if you get the armor implants, a full set of them, the Archon is going to be by far the beefiest, or the strongest tank of them all. That concludes the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you choose the carrier as your next ship. I do want to remind you that the training path to a carrier is expensive. Skill books for the carrier run between 250 and 450 million ISK per book, but once you have the books, the training is of course relatively simple. Also, the modules are extremely expensive. They can range between 20 and 40 million ISK a piece, and the fighters you'll have between 15 and 20. The Thanatos can fit 19 to 20 fighters, depending on if you want other drones, and those fighters are typically between 20 and 22 million ISK as of this recording. So keep in mind you will be spending a lot for your carrier, but it'll be less than for a faction battleship, and you'll have much more than a faction battleship could ever provide. So choose the carrier, and look me up. I'll help you train into it, help you understand how to fly them, how to use them, and give you practice. We'll go on ops and do things like that. Or you can find another group of your friends and find out how much they do or do not know, and maybe lose a few carriers on the way. I hope you don't lose any carriers, and signing out.